Hello everybody, my name is Sniping is Fun. I welcome you all back to character number 37 here on this list of characters, this series of characters of potential newcomer ideas for the next Smash Bros. Game on Nintendo Switch. And as mentioned in the Funky Kong video, character number 36, character number 37 was going to be a character I was heavily pushing for back in the days of Smash Bros. 4 years ago, and I'm going to put him in this series right now as a potential newcomer for Smash Bros. 5 because I think he still has a chance. A slim chance, but a chance nonetheless. And it all depends on what Treasure wants to do with the Sin and Punishment franchise, and that's Issa Joe from Sin and Punishment Star Successor on the Nintendo Wii. Not Saki Issa Joe. Saki might appear later on in this series. Don't make any promises. I'm not going to answer yes or no, but this video is about Issa Joe. Now, for those of you, first and foremost, before I get into the three categories, why they make sense, why moveset ideas can I think of for Issa Joe, and percentage chance, I know some of you might not know exactly what Sin and Punishment is, but for those of you, I'm going to quickly explain it. It's basically from the company Treasure. There was a game on the N64 which featured Saki and Achi Joe, and then there was a sequel, Issa Joe and Kachi. It's an on-rail shooter type game in a post-apocalyptic space future shooter. So think Star Fox, but in a more post-apocalyptic stage, where post-apocalyptic type futuristic world with human characters instead of animal anthropomorphic characters. And it's instead of riding like your R-wing and spaceships, you're basically riding a jetpack and running around with a blaster gun and like an armed blaster cannon type thing. That's basically it. It's basically a on-rail shooter type of game, except you can move around and whatnot. So basically think that about Star Fox and whatnot. So that's basically what it is. So before I get further, too in depth on trying to explain what it is, you can just search it on YouTube. You can just search it on my YouTube videos. My videos will probably pop up if you type in Issa Joe Sin and Punishment. I actually tried that when I was doing research for this video, and they did from years ago, and I'm actually kind of surprised. But yes, just do your research. If you don't know exactly who it is, it's the Saki character assist trophy from Brawl and 4, like that anime dude, or you thought it was a woman probably, that wears the yellow shirt, comes out and shoots you with a gun and smacks you with like an arm cannon sword type thing. That is Saki, who's the main character of the first one, and this is his son, Issa Joe, and the main female character, Achi Joe, from the first game, which I've actually played. And you can, if you were lucky enough to buy the import version of the Wii Virtual Console. So without further ado, let me get started on 3 reasons for why I feel, makes sense to be in, 3 reasons I feel this character makes sense, Issa Joe, makes sense to be in Smash Brothers. 1, it represents a Nintendo franchise that's not yet in Smash Brothers. And I know the series hasn't been used since 2010. It's been 8 years since the last game, which was his game. So that's the reason why I said he made more sense when the Wii was more relevant for a Smash Bros. Game, and it was closer to the release of a Smash Bros. Game, and they were looking at the Wii and the DS, the 3DS, and the Wii U and whatnot. But it does represent a franchise that does, as niche as it is iconic to the Nintendo lore, Nintendo franchises, as a whole. And just like Advance Wars, Elite Beat Agents, Golden Sun and whatnot, it still represents a Nintendo franchise that many fans do love and many fans do enjoy, despite them being as niche as they are and not as utilized as they are, that have yet to be in Smash Brothers. And sometimes they do happen that Sakurai doesn't just pick the most relevant things sometimes. Sometimes he might just pick a character off the wall, so that can happen. Normally he picks characters from franchises that are more utilized by Nintendo, but sometimes he does, kind of go against that, like for 1 or 2 characters at random moments, not just retro characters and third party, but he sometimes has just jumped the gun, done stuff like that before. So with that being said, that could happen. As unlikely as it is, it could happen. So Sakurai does go random sometimes. He does seem to follow a pattern. He does seem to go for a certain certain characters sometimes, but he does tend to be random sometimes to predict for certain things, not for the whole roster, but for certain things, like certain stages and characters and bosses and assist trophies and music and whatnot. So there you go with that. So yeah, it represents a franchise that's not yet in Smash Bros. But is also demanded to be in Smash Bros. Just as much as Advance Wars and Golden Sun. People do want it in there. People more so probably want Saki, but I feel Issa Joe makes a little more sense now. No offense, Saki fans. He is also the most relevant character, like as I mentioned, to represent that. Saki is still the assist trophy. He's from the first game, but the game that was actually localized would have been this one. I know they brought the whole import from the first game on the N64 to the Wii Virtual Console, and it's all in English. They intended, I think, back in the day in 2000, 2001 when it was supposed to come out and localize it, but they never did. But he was the main console physical disc localized one, and he still is the most relevant main character from that franchise. And it's, in my opinion, a NES versus Nintendo situation. They didn't pick Nintendo, they picked NES, the localized hero from Mother/Earthbound. I think that would kind of be falling into the same category. I said the same thing years ago, and I say the same thing now. I think that kind of gives him the more relevant choice to be the character they pick from it over, Saki. Saki could be like an alternate character, like an Elf Olimar type of thing, but I think the entire moveset should be based around him, especially because I think he's a little more unique than his father was. In the third one, the character, the franchise is unknown. One day we probably will see a return of Sin and Punishment. We might very well see a return of Sin and Punishment on the Switch. Maybe the Switch's successor, the 10th gen console. No one really expected SAR's successor to come back out in 2010. Like, everyone thought like Saki and Sin and Punishment was like a one and done thing on the N64. We were never gonna get another game, and then we got one out of nowhere 2 generations later on the Wii. Anything's possible. Advance Wars can come back. Elite Beat Agents can come back. Sin and Punishment can come back. Golden Sun. Any franchise can come back at any moment. And Sakurai's the one that knows behind the scenes with Nintendo. He keeps up with franchises. He keeps up with the other different development teams from Nintendo. He would be the one that would know if we're going to one day get a Sin and Punishment game, like Sin and Punishment 3 on the Switch or a future console. The series' future is unknown, but anything seems to be possible with Nintendo, and if Sakurai knows something, he might be pushing it because maybe in the future we'll get a new one. I don't know. So that's the 3 reasons I think he still makes some sense. It may not be a utilized franchise in recent memory, but it is a franchise that doesn't represent anything in Smash Bros. Yet. It's a newly represented franchise. He is the most relevant character from that franchise, the most relevant main character from that franchise. You can put in Aaron, Joe, Kachi, Achi, Saki as like alternate character type stuff, but I think the moveset should be mostly based around him, his arm cannon blaster, and his jetpack and everything. And it's a franchise that may very well come back like numerous other Nintendo franchises. So there's that. So let me get that out of the way. That's the reasons why I think it should be in. As for moveset ideas, I'm going to basically say the same ideas I said years ago. For what I said in Smash Bros. 4. Since I've already talked about this character, I'm going to say the same thing. A Smash attack is his laser cannon sword. He will just come up close, swipe it, combo heavy. He'll be super combo heavy because he does do a lot of combos in the game if you go up close to opponents and attack him. And he just has a laser sword, which we don't really have except for the item, the beam sword as the item. So it's a laser cannon sword. His special attacks will basically be the gun mode, the blaster mode from his laser cannon, because it's the same weapon, except up close he can attack melee based, and from a distance he uses it as a gun. It's a 2-in-1 weapon. And he has rapid fire, and he has a charge shot. So you can hold it, you can charge it, and you can shoot the weapon. And you can basically rapid fire him. And then I think between his smash attacks and his special attacks, he does sometimes do little kicks too. So I'll throw it in there as like a little off the wall, him kicking opponents. But it's mostly going to be the sword swings. And it's mostly going to be his blast rifle, either single shot, rapid shot, angled shots, charged shots, different types of shots he could basically do, different types of blast rifle shots he could do. So he's a fighter that can attack you from up close and at a distance. So basically a lot of characters like Fox and whatnot too, Link. So he has long range attacks, medium range attacks, and close range, short range attacks. And I think that will at least make him diverse enough to the point where he can basically, easily, be an all-around fighter. And he has his jetpack, which will give him a double, triple jump and the ability to hover in the air, kind of like a Peach or a Jigglypuff or a Kirby type of thing. And that could be what saves him, like his jetpack type stuff. And now, in terms of Final Smash, he does the same thing as his father. His father is a ruffian, and it means he's can transform into this giant titan, colossal beast type thing. And he does the same thing in the story mode of this game, so he gets that from his father. So you will have Kachi come out, he transforms, and basically to keep control of his body, Kachi kind of goes inside of him, and Kachi, if you don't know, is her. And he transforms in this giant ruffian form. The ruffian transformation, which is this giant, humanistic looking mech type colossal titan thing. And either it can be behind the stage thing where he just goes down and just blastering rifle and sword swiping and stomping the stage and just attacking, Or you can make it, sorry, I dropped that. Or you can make it like a Giga Bowser type thing where he's just on the stage, this big giant like colossal beast that just goes around, just stomps everyone on the stage. You can either make it behind the scenes where you attack the opponents, or it could be non-controllable and they just attack the stage itself. The computer controls it for you. But I think being controllable will probably be a little better and more interesting. And or it could be on a stage like a Giga Bowser type where you control it for a good 20 seconds and you just double, triple, quadruple damage people on the stage by blast rifling and attacking with swords and stomping the stage and just attacking them. And that's it for a moveset. Blaster Cannon Sword, Blaster Cannon Blaster Rifle, Charge Shots, Rapid Shots, and the Ruffian Transformation for a Smile Smash. I think that'd be a good thing, and he has more maneuverable because of his jetpack. All-around character, and I think it'd be a fun moveset. And I said that years ago, and I think I still will say that now. He would be the most fun I think you can get out of a Sin and Punishment character. Now in terms of percentage chance, it certainly has went down since Smash Bros. 4. At Smash Bros. 4, I would have give him maybe at least a 60% chance. Like a 55 to 65% chance of being in. He wasn't back then like a Palutena or a Lucina or Robin or Chrom or, Rosalina or Bowser Jr. or a Gen 6 Pokemon or any of that stuff, or Ghirahim and whatnot. But I'd certainly put him in the category below them, where if they wanted to randomly pick him or Isaac or Matthew or Andy or Will or something, they would have picked them too. They were in that Elite Beat Agents category, Golden Sun category, Advanced Wars category. All these franchises were still very relevant on the Wii DS era, Wii U, 3DS, around the time Smash Bros. Was being looked at, but they aren't relevant now. So I'm going to give them a 40%. It still is possible. It's still as possible, as unlikely as it is, but I still give them a 40%, which is maybe a little too high. Maybe 30% would be better. But I think it's still possible, but it all depends on the future of Sin and Punishment. If we are ever going to get an announcement from Treasure that Sin and Punishment 3 is eventually coming, some character is going to be picked from it, and if it might be the character from Sin and Punishment 3, and that may not very well be Issa Joe. But see, it all depends on the future of the franchise, what Sakurai knows and what Sakurai wants to do, but the pattern says he's unlikely now as he was. He's more unlikely now than he was back in Smash Bros. 4. Even then, he wasn't super possible, but he at least had about 65% chance at the most. Now I'm giving about 30 to 40. I'm going to say 40 for sure % chance, and I think he's still possible, but he's not very likely. But I think it's still there. So put in the comments section what you guys think. What do you guys think about Issa Joe for Smash Brothers? Do you think he still be a cool character to see? Do you want to see Saki instead, or Achi, or Kachi, or Aaron? Do you like the moveset? Do you want to change it up? Laser guns, whatever, 40% too high, too low? What reasons do you think he makes sense to be in, or just to get a Sin Punishment character in general? Would you rather see Saki? Put in the comments below and we could discuss it there. Have fun. Character number 37 is officially done. Goodbye, Issa. And say hello to character number 38 when next time I'm going to be talking about Level 5's own Professor Layton. See y'all later.